Hi everyone, this is Matt with Mom with the Mats, and today I want to address a topic. The topic is scale. So I do scale models. And the other day I was talking to one of my students and told him the same thing, that I do scale models, I build them. And he was like, scale? What do you mean by scale? And so I thought I'd discuss it. I thought it'd be our first starting topic for Mom with the Mats here. So, scale is how you make something that is large and bring it in smaller. Okay, we've all enlarged something on a copy machine where you put it on there and you enlarge it like 200% and you make it bigger. Well, scale for scale modeling is you take the actual object and you bring it down smaller. Okay, so that is what scale is. Now, scale is a very interesting concept when it comes to different objects. A car, relatively small. So you don't want to go something too small of a scale. Like a Hot Wheels car is tiny compared to the actual thing. Trying to build a Hot Wheels car would be relatively difficult. So cars have a very unique scale. They have three common scales. You have 1/25th scale, like the 67 Shelby Mustang. It's in 1/25th scale. It's an American-made product, so it's in 1/25th scale. Some European and Asian companies do theirs in 1/24 scale, like this Ford GT 500 or Ford GT. This is in 1/24 scale, so it's just off by just a little. So next to each other, you can't really tell the difference. But then the other scale that cars come in is 1/16th scale. And that's like my friend Matt, who built his Mustang for the model show. It's 1/16th scale. It's gigantic. It was bigger than a Kleenex box. Okay? So that is scale for cars. Ships normally only have two scales. That's 1/700th scale and 1/350th scale. But you got to remember, a ship is gigantic. Okay, I have this one right here. This is a 1/700th scale. Let's see if I can pull this out. Let's see. The USS Mobile Bay. There it is. There is the entire ship from stem to stern. And it's tiny. Just look how tiny those are. Here is a 1/700th scale. See if it'll show up. Beginnings of a helicopter. It's teeny tiny. So that's what we have for ships. 1/700th and 1/350th. Tanks come in two, and ground vehicles come in two standard sizes. 1/72nd scale, which I forgot to mention. The one means for every 1 inch on the model equals so many inches on the real thing. So let's translate it. So 1 inch on a 1/72nd tank equals 6 feet on the real thing. So 1 inch for 1/35th scale, 1 inch equals 35 inches on the actual thing. So just under 3 feet. Okay, so those are tanks. 1/72nd scale, 1/35th scale. Then you got airplanes. The ones that I primarily do airplanes. There are so many scales in airplanes. There tends to be 5 standard ones, and then they have some other ones that are on the fringes. You have 1/144th scale, which means 1 inch equals 12 feet on the real thing. Okay? Here's an FW-190 from World War II. It's 1/144th scale. It's tiny. Now, put it in perspective. Here's a casino coin. It literally is just about the size of that casino coin. Now, that's 1/144th scale. Next one is 1/72nd scale. Here I have a P-51 Mustang that's not been built yet, still on the sprue or tree, and it's 1/72nd scale. Now I'll get out a ruler here. And just over 5 inches long. Okay, and that's in 1/72nd scale. 1 inch equals 6 feet. The next scale is 1/48 scale. 1 inch equals 4 feet on the actual airplane. I don't have any 1/48 scale around me right now, but that's the size I normally tend to build. The next one is 1/32nd scale. Now, this is my P-51 Mustang, and I'm currently building in 1/32nd scale. Okay, and it's almost 11 inches long. Now we have this one and this one, and you can compare just on the size. Now the whole front end would actually fit inside of this airplane. Another example to show you in 1/32nd scale. I'll let you use this one. This is a 1/32nd FW190. Here we have the wings, still on the sprue. Here's the 1/144th scale one. So it's a little bit, this one just a little bit bigger than its wheels of this size one. Okay? Now, and then the big ones that they have for airplanes is 1/24th scale. 1 inch equals 24 inches on the real thing. Those tend to be gigantic. You're talking wingspans of feet, okay? Not inches. I've known someone who actually built one where they actually built it so that the wings could come off, so they actually could travel with it, take it to shows. So those are different scales. Now, is there a specific scale that is good or bad? It all depends on how detailed you want to get. The smaller scales tend to have less detail to them. Here's the box for the FW190 1/44th scale. It has, let's see, it tells us it had 9 parts to it. Just 9 to put it together. Whereas this 1/32nd scale one has a box full of plastic. So if you're just starting out and want to just go to like Michael's or Hobby Lobby and pick up a scale, now I always recommend for cars, do 1/24th, 1/25th scale. That's a good start. Airplanes, 1/48, 1/72nd. Those tend to be really good. Start with that. 1/144th, you're getting really tiny, and then 1/32nd and 1/24th, you're getting pretty big and a lot of detail. So shooting for a 1/48 scale airplane or a 1/72nd scale airplane. World War II airplanes lend themselves to 1/44th scale. Now, since they're smaller, 1/44th would give them a little bit bigger space. For modern jets like F-15s, F-18s, a 1/72nd scale one will have a pretty decent amount of detail, but not enough to like drive you crazy. So just wanted to talk to you about scale. So that if you ever have any questions, post up in the Mom with the Mats questions so we have something to talk about. But I just wanted to answer the question about what is scale. And that's what scale is, depending on how big you want to make it or how small. So I'll see y'all next time, and thanks for watching. See ya.